Hi people, welcome to an episode of Immigration Guide. It's your girl Michelle. So today we'll be talking about deportation. There are a lot of people who are experiencing deportation in Canada. Totally wise to bring up to do this video to give you tips on how to avoid deportation in Canada. So if you've applied for a study permit, a work permit, a visitor's visa to come to Canada and you were approved and your application was approved and you were given the visa, before you come to Canada, please do your research because a lot of people are excited about the visas that have been approved than doing the research before they get to Canada. Because even if your visa has been approved, that doesn't guarantee you entry into the Canadian territory. We need to know that the Canadian immigration system doesn't permit you to do an interview. So, an interview will be done at the port of entry. So, it's important for you to know that you have to prepare yourself for any questions that will be asked or any documents that will be asked for you to prove. That is why I say that when you are granted a visa, make sure you do your research on informations on interview questions that will be asked by an immigration officer. There are a lot of people out here who have gone through those processes and have done videos on that. So it's important for you to watch those videos. So once you're issued a work permit, a study permit, or a visitor's visa, make sure you have a physical copy of the documents you used to apply for that visa. Make sure you have it handy. Before you get into Canada, make sure you've compiled all those documents. Is it your transcript if you're a student? Is it your transcript? Is it your letter of acceptance? Is it your bank statement? Is it your letter of sponsorship? Whichever documents you use to apply for that visa, make sure you have the physical copy. Now, when you get to Canada and an immigration officer is asking you a question, for example, if you are a student, if, let's say, for example, Montreal is not your final destination, Calgary is your final destination, Montreal is going to be your port of entry because that is where you came through and you probably had a layover. And the first place that you exit is going to be your port of entry. So let's say in Montreal, the officer asks you, why are you here? What do you want? I'm a student. I got a study permit approved. If he asks you that, which school are you going to? Make sure you have the name of the school offhand. And you should know where that school is located, which province is located in. Because there are a lot of people who still don't know where their school is located in. A lot of people say Ontario, Ontario. But no, your school might not be located in Ontario. Make sure you have those basic information of where your school is located. Secondly, they will ask you who is your sponsor. Are you the sponsor? Are your parents the sponsor? Or your auntie who is based in Canada is sponsor? Make sure you have that letter of sponsorship. Thirdly, a bank statement. Let's say you applied for your study permit 8 months ago and it was approved now. And now you're coming to Canada. You need an updated copy of your bank statement because the 8 months bank statement you had is no more valid. So you cannot be using that to show the officer that you have funds in your account. If you show that, they'll deny and reject your application because you have to show proofs of a new bank statement. In Canada, bank statements can be valid for 6 months, can be valid for 3 months, based on when you applied for your application. Okay? So please make sure you always have an updated copy of your bank statement. That is very important because if you don't have an updated copy and they ask you to show your bank statement, the officer might not be happy to reject your application because you don't have those funds. How can you prove that you have the funds? The funds you had 8 months ago might not still be in your account. So guys, make sure that you have updated copies of your bank statement. Now, if you're a visitor and you're coming to Canada, make sure that you have had a reservation of where you're going to be staying, because the officer is going to ask you those questions like, where are you going to be staying? How long are you going to be staying in Canada? What is your purpose in Canada? You need to have done your research to know the places that you're going to be visiting in Canada. And make sure you've had hotel reservations, or where maybe you'll be staying with your friend. Make sure you have the address, because those officers will ask you those questions. Now, I always tell people is prepare yourself and let your answers be truthful. That is why I say before you apply for a visa, make sure that any information that you put in there, you can be able to recite that information if somebody asks you that information physically. Okay? Don't give any misleading information, because these people will search for it. They are going to pull the file and find out those informations. So make sure that whatever information you're giving out is the right information, so that it doesn't get complicated. The reason why they're trying as much as possible to interview and be strict on is because they're trying to reduce the rate of temporary residents in Canada, like students, workers, visitors, visitors. They're trying to reduce that because of the population in Canada, and the job market is now slow. So guys, make sure that once you apply for your visa, whatever documents you use to apply, prepare yourself with the physical copy of those documents, because they are going to ask you at the port of entry. And you don't want to be disappointed when your visa has been discarded. A lot of people are suffering from that because of basic information that they can't answer. Basic information that they can't answer. So, guys, make sure you've done your research on questions on immigration officers. What are the questions they'll ask you at the port of entry? How can I answer it? What should I do? Make sure you have that. And always bear in mind that have your passport, have the address that you're going to be staying in, have, if you're a student, have that address. Your address is important. Now, they'll ask you how much you have on you. You cannot be carrying a lot of money to Canada. You cannot have up to $10,000 in your pocket, more than $10,000 in your pocket. Make sure that you don't give the wrong information. And be careful with whatever things you put in your luggages. Secure your stuffs well. So I just brought this information to you to let you know that people are being deported from Canada. And don't feel excited once you get your visa approved. What you should be doing after getting your visa approved is finding out, what can I do when I get to the port of entry. I wish you all the best, and please guys, like and share this information, because I know this information will help someone out there. You don't want to keep this information to yourself. Okay? So please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you and good luck to you all.